What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Jumping Around. I'm Jack.
What's good? I'm inspirational. And the rundown, as usual, we talk about our main big one. This time we're talking about One Piece chapter 989. That's right. We're getting almost 10 chapters away from the big 1000, and then we'll switch back and forth between one series with Jack, one series with me, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. One Piece, Fire. We get a giant spread of the entire Straw Hats together after years and years
We've been
apart.
waiting for it, and finally we get it. So many years apart.
It's also cool that Frankie gets his big moment of saying like Luffy is going to be the king of the pirates, and then shoots shoots a laser beam at Big Mom, and not all of them, but some of the big ones that we haven't seen fighting in a while are taking their shots at this big Yonko Big Mom.
Exactly. It's been rumored so long how powerful they are. And so I believe that the crew is going to try their hand at taking down Big Mom, which is awesome. I mean, remember, they don't need to kill her or anything like that. They just need to incapacitate her in some way. Uh, and, it's just a huge stage for us to see how far the crew has gone. But what did you think of like the design of the numbers?
They were all right. I expected something else because they were shrouded in mystery for years almost. And they kind of look like, and we kind of get the hint that they're the failed experiments for Punk Hazard. And we kind of saw skeletons of them. So we knew they were big, but I don't know, they kind of look a little goofy to me. But
Yeah,
that's just for me.
they're not like serious looking.
Yeah. And they're pretty ugly. Like they look barbaric and they look, very animal driven, like instinctive. So I guess if that's what Oda was going for, then it kind of hits the mark there pretty well.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how that goes. But we got a lot of good stuff in this chapter. Everyone should
Oh yeah.
check it out. We
Oh
got
yeah.
good interactions with Robin and Jinbei and Frankie. They're all using the powers. They're teaming up. And I think what Oda wanted to do more than anything was to assemble the mecha.
Oh yes. Oh yes. The Iron Pirate coming back to life.
Yeah, I
Literally,
mean,
Usopp and Chopper were pretending to be damaged and hurt, and the minute Frankie is putting it together, they're up and ready to do what needs to be done to get the big giant back into gear. I think what's interesting is that Robin rolled Big Mom maybe to the front of Onigashima, so it looks like maybe Big Mom is gonna get out of action in the main island itself and going to join the fight with Marco and Pear Sparrow that are, you know, probably dueling it out in the front of the Onigashima. So maybe that's where Oda is trying to separate the Yonko so the Straw Hats have more room to play around with in this fight. I'm not
that's a
sure
good
if that's
point.
what's actually going to happen, but
Why would they throw her out the window if it
exactly.
didn't mean anything?
Hmm.
So you're right. They may be separating her out, so the crew may be actually be fighting everyone else, like the Toby Ropo.
Yeah.
It would be more easier for like Sanji to go up against the Toby Ropo guy and like some of these other guys,
Hmm.
like because
And
Big Mom would just kill like some of the lesser ones, like
exactly.
Brooke. She's
And
that
like there's way too many groups already in this small area. It's now that once they're all together, now we need to separate them out and have the groups fighting each other, I think. But I
yeah.
mean, Oda will do what Oda will do, so
She
we'll
can
see where he
easily
actually takes it.
climb back in the window like
Exactly.
the next chapter. So we'll see. I mean, but yeah, I can't wait to see what the fights are going to be like. Whether they team up or they do individual ones.
Oh yeah.
All
All right,
right,
what's your first one?
my first pick this week is Mashley.
Okay.
So we get the new matchup in their game of death versus like the aristocratic Hogwarts
The
groupings of
Slytherin
students.
style house is what I'm like coining it. Yeah.
Exactly. So they got the new bad person who's spouting up the same BS as the last ones. Basically, they're smarter, come from better family and lineages, and her name is Love,
Hmm.
and so she's facing off like the lovesick character, the Sanji of Mashley,
Oh
and
yeah.
so he's finally gotten a little bit more faithful to I think Lemon, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and so they were doing their tremendous battle. going back and forth. Just tremendously entertaining. Seems like every chapter we see a matchup, and it pretty much gets teased a little bit and then finish the next one. So incredible pace for this tournament arc going on.
And that's good because we're getting closer and closer to the final battle of this arc. Whether it's the big bad, the one that's been controlling all these people, or it's just a minion of someone else, I guess we'll find out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, who the hell knows?
Yeah. All right, my first one is Burn the Witch. We're in chapter 3 of 4. Um, Stuff is happening, but it doesn't feel like it's concluding. So we're now 75% of this series done. So all of this is kind of set up for the big battle, which has been sort of orchestrated loosely. It seems like Noel and Nina are fighting, and they have their respective people that they're taking care of, like Balgo and Macy. But it doesn't feel like it's really compelling because, again, it's only 3 chapters. Like there isn't. That's usually set up for a lot of series. There isn't that much that you can pack into there to have meaningful interactions. So I guess we'll find out in the finale of the series or the season. It's rumored that this is only season 1 of the series, which will kind of mark a new tradition for seasonal manga, which hasn't happened before. So those are just rumors. We'll see what happens, but we'll get to the conclusion of it coming up soon.
Well, if they're putting money into marketing it for the anime and stuff like that, I mean, it makes sense that you would do more with it so that you
Mm-hmm.
can leverage people's mind space. And I think they probably would make more money if they grouped a few seasons for licensing.
Yeah.
Season 1, season 2, combined into like 20 episode brick that they can sell to
Yeah, and I think they're
licensees
just
across the world.
pitching this like initial movie. I think it's a movie that's airing at the beginning of October, so that's probably their pitch to see how well this kind of style works. It's a lot less stress for the author because they work really hard for a small chunk of period, and then they take a break, brainstorm, and then come back maybe next year, next season. It's up to them to decide because I don't think this has ever been done before in Jump, so this is new.
Yeah, Jump is a little starving for good titles now, so
Yeah.
they're more doing more risky things to try to get some decent stuff into their
Oh yeah.
volumes. All right, so for me, the next book I want to talk about is My Hero
Okay.
Academia. Amazing chapter, as everyone hinted at online. Basically, what we saw was Deku getting another power from his ancestor, sort of the history of his fruit, whatever they want to call it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's unveiled that he has the flow power, which is from Nana,
Yep.
uh, All Might's mentor.
Yeah, All Might's mentor, I believe.
So that was a big deal. What do you
You know,
think?
it's interesting that there's a chance that Shigaraki could also have float, could also have Nana's ability or quirk because she died in the fight, and I'm sure the doctor has her body or has extracted the quirk from it. So that could have been partially downloaded to Shigaraki. So this could potentially just turn into an aerial battle where they're both using quirk or both using float as their quirk. But I don't know. It's all right. We've seen Deku flying around a lot, so right now it feels like float isn't too much of a upgrade. But again, we just got the reveal of this chapter, so we'll see how he utilizes it next chapter.
Exactly. Well, the Nana character is highly revered in the universe, so
Yeah,
it must do more than float.
yeah,
But we will see. I'm curious how closely it resembles Uraraka's
yeah.
because she has to touch something and it floats. So, like, what is the difference? Like, uh, how do you make float more powerful other than just flying?
So what kind of gets enhanced with All for One in this case? I
Yeah,
think it's also cool that Deku kind of has his like companions and colleagues wrapped around the Black Whip, so he can kind of like use them as tentacles and just kind of whip him at Shigaraki, pull him back, whip him at Shigaraki, pull him back. I feel like that would be a cool combination to have. Whether that actually gets used or not, but maybe like throwing in Bakugo's explosions with Todoroki's ice and fire at the same time in two different angles. Uh, I don't know. A lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He would be like during like coronavirus times, like he has like disinfectants. He's like spraying a little bit of like here, spraying a little bit there, bombs, ice, fire. That's interesting. All right.
All
So
right. For my last one, we're talking about Chainsaw Man. There's been no cooldowns whatsoever for the series. It's just going one after the other. So in this one, Makima is dragging around Denki, and at the beginning of the chapter, we kind of get this long hallway with the curvature of it, where we see apparently the Chainsaw Man's disciples or his followers, and there's about 8 of them. We see the ones that have been killed off, like Beam and Power, with their heads chopped off, but the others seem to be still intact. That means they're loyal, but they're not loyal to Denki. They're or Denji. They're loyal to Makima. As she has a little line saying that, your followers and I had a little differences in faith. The differences is in that Makima is crazy and evil, and Denji didn't even know he had followers. So
they cut her off right when she was about to explain too.
exactly. They cut her off. We have what's his name, Kishibe, coming in, allowing several people to commit suicide just to spawn in the Hell Devil, and that gets completely destroyed by this upgraded Denji. He has a new form. He
The
completely
final
one
form for
shots.
Chainsaw Man.
Exactly. He one shots the Hell Devil. And I expected the Hell Devil to be, pretty overpowered, as we saw his kind of introduction in the Darkness Devil arc. I don't know, I don't know what's going on. I'll be real.
Yeah, I think we just have to trust in the author that he has like a higher. It's all planned out.
Hmm.
What he's doing is having fun now, showing us the cards that are dealt,
Yeah.
and at the end it will all make sense on
Oh
the
yeah.
read through. Uh, so he's just having fun with his story writing. I think you can only do this if you know what the end goal is. So he knows exactly what's going on with Makima, the Chainsaw Devil, everything.
Yeah.
So we are just kind of along for the ride right now, and it will be explained maybe even next chapter. I mean, he
Hmm.
just one hit the Hell Devil, so maybe we'll get a good explanation after that.
That's true.
All right, so that is it for this week. Uh, Follow me on Paradox Twitter at Twitter.
And follow me on Inspirational or at Inspirational on Twitter. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bam.